Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another study of the Spiritist magazine. Here we are together. What a blessing to be with you. It's always an honor to be here tonight. Today, we're going to be talking about issue 35 of the Spiritist magazine that is titled Everything Passes. And that's the way the article looks like when you are browsing the Spiritist magazine. As a reminder, we can all go to spiritistmagazine.org. And when we go to spiritistmagazine.org, we will have the opportunity of downloading the app for your mobile devices, ordering the physical copy of the Spiritist magazine, or if you wish, we will be downloading. If you'd like to, you can download the PDF version of the Spiritist magazine. And this is the article, this is the issue we're going to be talking about today. Beautiful. Issue 35, published back in 2016. However, it's still a very current message for our times. And if you were to browse through the different articles, you'll be able to zoom in and out, read. You can do that on your cell phone devices. We can talk about many different issues. Most issues having one of the chapters of the book, Good News by Umberto de Campos. Others will have issues of this book, Spiritist Conduct by Andrei Luiz. Many different topics that first time to you in English. And this is the beautiful article that we're going to be talking about today, titled Everything Passes. I'm going to make it a little larger so that you can see. Everything passes. Are you suffering? Are you having difficulties in your life? Are you having joyful moments? Are you having moments where you truly feel immersed in the fulfillment of your duties on the planet? Well, everything passes. The good will pass until the point that we are able to be a superior spirit and resonate and know of God and the designs of the Creator. Yet all the difficulties we are living out today pass. All of them pass. So today is a message from the Spirit, Dr. Diaz da Cruz, through the mediumship of Dr. Andrei Moreira, who is a psychiatrist in Brazil. It's a beautiful teaching to give us consolation and hope, always for a better future, always trying the best to see that even though this is difficult, to be incarnated is a journey. We also have the opportunity of thinking about our trials and as opportunities of service, because they also shall pass. Let's make a couple of adjustments so we can all be able to read the magazine together. Oh, there you go. So here is how the Spirit Diaz da Cruz talks to you and I. He says, look with trust at your destiny and understand that no one will be burdened with infinite suffering and pains. Difficulties on your path are service stations for moral apprenticeship until the cycle of learning comes to a complete end within the fields of one's heart. Here in the fields of the heart, one is provided with an awakening of new, joyful, and peaceful realities. So, dear friends, are we trusting in God that whatever is going on with ourselves, with our loved ones, with our co-workers, and with all of the fellow beings in humanity. That God has given us the opportunity to be together today, trusting in His design, trusting in God's design, that the beauty of God's creation and structure is that divine providence, God's care for all creatures, is the source of all the resources that you and I need to flourish as a spirit incarnated on the earth today. And he says here, understand that no one will be burdened with infinite suffering and pains, even though we may feel as if our difficulties and our pains are endless. Here's the Cruz reminding us, no one will be burdened with infinite suffering and pain. And remember, we have the agency to choose to see suffering and pains as an opportunity of service, an opportunity of learning, an opportunity of reaching out to others. Even the science of the earth is showing to us that when we volunteer and serve others, we are healthier, we live better lives, so we're catching up to it. So rest assured that whatever you're going through today, your loved ones, it's not infinite, it's finite. Because he's reminding us difficulties on your path are service stations for moral apprenticeship. So the difficulties are opportunity for you alike to learn what? The qualities of the spirit. And of course, when we suffer and we have pain, we may even improve intellectually and with the physical development of the earth. So if I'm suffering with a disease, maybe I will study to be a scientist and I will make the lives of others with that disease better, so on and so forth. We may be able to provide a service to someone who makes the life of all better. But then we have to think about the moral qualities that we want to acquire in this lifetime in a way that this is the most effective and efficient use of our time on the planet. He says the difficulties are service stations until the cycle of learning comes to a complete end. And where is this cycle of learning? This cycle of learning is in our hearts. Our heart is the center of the love we can extend to everyone around us. What does your physical heart do? The physical heart nourish the cells of your body with oxygenated blood. It is a muscle that beats many, many times a minute from the moment it's formed in embryonary phase all the way to your death. Each and every day, the heart is pumping and pumping and nourishing the cells of the physical body with the oxygen, the nutrients that the blood carries. So the heart is that in the physical body that where you can visualize the love and the care you have for yourself and others, literally moving all throughout the body. So if you visualize yourself as embracing the resources the divine providence give to us, absorbing them, concentrate them in your heart, allow those resources to flow through you and send it to others so you have the heart to heart connection, right? So once we learn, when the cycle of learning comes to its end in our hearts, we will be awakened to a new joyful and peaceful reality. So the inspiration for this study today is so that you and I will be mindful and trusting in our destiny, trusting in God that the good spirits are there to support us, to console us. And also, when we look at God's creation, we look at it with care, We are aware that we're not the only ones who suffer, even though sometimes when we are burdened with suffering and pains, it feels like a storm, that this storm is never going to pass. However, after the storm, the sun comes, right? The sun comes for you and I. We trust there will be a sunrise and a sunset each and every day. And that's how we need to go from the knowledge of it to the trusting and embracing of this reality. He says here, in times of drought, it is required and essential to seek courage to nourish ourselves with the sustaining processes that life offers us, as this will deepen our roots in search of nourishment for our souls. What is the sustaining process that life offers us? The sustainment of our spirit, of our courage, of our empathy, compassion towards everything and everyone. In the book After Death, Leon Denis says that love is the glue that sustains the universe. And at the center of love is God. And God's care for all creatures is divine providence. So we need to, when we are lacking something, in times of drought, to lack water, then it's required for us to seek courage to nourish ourselves by listening to good content, by reading good content, by selecting our social media very wisely to nourish us with the good and not with despair. And to the extent that we can deepen our soul, our roots in search of this nourishment for our spirit and souls, right? In times of abundance, the nourishment available allows us for us to plentifully share what's given to us in a productive manner. So let's think this two parts here. Are we feeling that we are in times of drought, requiring this current constant search for courage to nourish ourselves? Or are we fortunate enough to be in a time of abundance where we have the nourishment that we need for our moral improvement? And then we can share with others what is given to us productively. So let's think about these in relation to the top, because he's saying here, no one will be burdened with infinite suffering and pains, yet there are times of drought and there are times of abundance. So if we are in times of drought where we lack something, then we seek the nourishment. And if we're in times of abundance, we share the nourishment. And here I'm talking about the spiritual, psychological, mental, and physical nourishment. So if we have this insight and think about a times of drought, how blessed would I feel? How grateful would I feel if someone took the time to share the abundant nourishment that they had in their lives, right? So the times we are living today, embedded in the planetary transition of the earth, should give us pause to be grateful for all that we have, to seek to have less so we can give more. The less we have, less inventory we have to deal with and manage and store and care for, more resources of time, energy, and of material resources such as money, because money is a tool, can be shared with others. So the less I need, in more abundance I have, more nourishment I can share with others. And if you think about a time of drought where you would think about a time where you would be so much blessed if someone reached out to you. Now, in times of drought, is that also a visualization of a seed of a plant, right? First, when you put the seed on the ground, the seed is in darkness in the soil. Very little light, if any, depending on the depth. What does the seed do? The seed has the trusting that it's going to become the tree that it's going to become one day, or the plant that it's going to become one day. But yet, first the seed goes down into the soil, not up straight up to the light yet, because it doesn't have the capabilities of using the light yet. You need chlorophyll, photosynthesis to do that. First, it grows its roots to be able to absorb the nourishment and the water from the soil. And then it's able to grow towards the sun and fulfill its destiny by even giving us oxygen in the atmosphere. So it's all related. So in the feelings of drought, in the spiritual drought, that's when we need to deepen the roots so we can continue to search the nourishment for our soul. So let's focus on the moral improvements, the moral habits, the spiritual nourishment that our spirits need. And that includes an emotional diet, a spiritual diet, a social media diet, a comparison diet, where we are looking for the nutrients one at a time. The same way we do our physical bodies, we have to have all the nutrients for living a fulfilling, healthy life in the physical body. We need to look for those nourishments in our spiritual selves as well. And that we need to be mindful of the things we consume, the things we're exposed to, emotional shielding, so we don't get contaminated by the drought of others when they are lacking and they're making everybody around them lacking. So those are all things that we can learn even through the pains and sufferings of our lives, because we are intertwined, we're woven together in one web of thoughts, feelings, ideas, and emotions. So we affect one another as well. Isn't that beautiful to come this together? He says here, if today there is drought and contention, surrender with love. And tomorrow there will be an abundant harvest, as the planting beds will be verdant, foretelling the coming of days of joy and abundance. Thus, when we experience either drought or abundance, with attention and vigilance, everything passes. Everything different passes. In our lives, everything shall pass. Even our physical bodies will pass, the physical bodies of our loved ones. So we need to be deepen our roots so we can deepen the nourishment and connection I have with God, with the good spirits, with the service in the spiritual and physical realm, so that I can grow strong in my trusting and my faith that God is providing for all of us. And this is a comment about from the translation. In this book, this little excerpt is from the book Pills of Trust by Dias da Cruz, psychographed by the medium Andrei Moreira, chapter 25, published by AIM Brazil. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to leave this image or everything passes so that we can look at it together. And I'm going to search something for you because I believe this book might or might not be available for our purchase. And I think the Kardec Radio folks may have already did a study on this book. We want to make sure that well, looks like my there we go. Let me see if I can find it for you so I can show it to you. Doesn't matter. We want to make sure that we have an opportunity to discuss all of these issues. Remember, we want to make sure we visit the website of the Spiritist magazine, that we can be together with the good spirits, inspiring ourselves, nourishing our souls with Kardec Radio and many, many other Spiritist centers. It's right here. That's what I wanted to show you. For some reason, it was not available for me to show it to you. But as we are in the era of the internet and this is recorded so that we can be together, here is the web page of Kardec Radio. And if you go to the menu of podcasts and scroll down, you can nourish your souls, by the way, with all of this content. It will take you to the SoundCloud account where you can listen to the podcasts. I think I passed it. Yeah. Here you go. Bills of Trust. And then here you can read, you can listen to many different chapters from the book, Bills of Trust. And if we were to go one step ahead, we can go to Spiritist Magazine, and that's what the website is. This is the newest, most recent issue. And if you were to do that, put the website for you here. You can just type here, see the App Store, the Google Store, the donate button. All of these is done by volunteers. If you go to PDF download, you can choose whichever one you want, going all the way back a long time ago. And once it opens, you'll be able to read it just like I did. Isn't that beautiful? So we have a lot of opportunities to nourish our souls here with this beautiful teaching. So with the idea that everything passes, we are going to wish you today and always many, many blessings. I'm going to leave it here for us to see. Whatever we are going through, it shall pass, dear friends. So let's support one another. Let's care for one another. Let's pray for one another. Let's visualize the good. Let's feel the good. Let's mold the good, as Emmanuel would say in the book Thought and Life. So when we visualize ourselves as goodness, doing good things, visualize others as a potential that they can be, then we can help one another. Whichever way, whichever situation you are, you can still help someone else. And then collectively, if each and every one of us does something good for the other, then guess what? We would have a much better world. Not we would have, but we will have a much more kind and loving world each and every day, because the law of progress dictates that we will transition from a world of trials and expiations to a world of regeneration. Thank you so very much for the blessings of being together. Please write your comments, your questions, like, subscribe, follow, do all of the things that would allow other people to be supported by the teachings of the higher spirit, so that we can do the good that way. You may be saving a life, you may be helping someone in a difficult time, so please do that. And again, my name is Sheyne Martin. I broadcast from the Spirit Society of Richmond for the Spiritist program at Spiritist Magazine program at Kardec Radio. And until next week, I wish you many, many blessings. Take care of yourself and someone else you know. I'll see you soon.